All right, so this happened in a game yesterday, so I just kind of want to see what I think I told the guy right, but I want to make sure.
Sure, sure.
So
What's up?
the guy was playing Commander Guff. Now we were playing a precon match. He used a creature that turned Commander Guff, or an enchantment or a creature that turned Commander Guff into a 3/3 bird until the end of turn. I can't remember what the name of the creature was.
Okay.
He then went to attack with Commander Guff as a 3/3 bird.
Sure.
I responded with an Observe Stasis,
Observe
targeting Commander Guff. It's flash, enchant creature an opponent controls. When this aura enters, remove enchanted creature from combat, then draw a card for each tapped creature its controller controls. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't attack or block.
Okay.
So the question is at the end of the turn, when Commander Guff is no longer a creature, is the Observe Stasis still attached to that creature? And does he still lose all?
No. So what happens is, because if I'm understanding you correctly, the effect that turned Guff into a creature was just like an until end of turn effect, right?
Until end of turn, correct.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what happens is that effect made a layer 4 type change to Guff, turning Guff into a creature, which made it a valid target for that aura because the aura says enchant creature, right?
Yes.
So it was able to be targeted, it was able to be enchanted, so it was able to do the thing, no problem. Now what happens is the effect turning Guff into a creature wasn't an ability that Guff had, right? Like it's just once that effect resolved, it had its continuous duration of until end of turn. So
Sure.
during the cleanup step, when until end of turn effects end, among other things, Guff stopped being a creature. So that means that the aura is no longer attached to a valid object because it's enchant creature, not enchant permanent, right?
Okay.
And so when Guff stopped being a creature, the aura fell off for state-based actions. Excuse me. And that's it. So the aura was no longer attached. Guff retained its abilities and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so we did that wrong. Okay, that's what I needed to know.
No problem. Yeah, that's why, like, for example, if you look at something like Imprison in the Moon, Imprison in the Moon says enchant creature or land, because Imprison in the Moon turns it into a land, but if it didn't also say enchant land, it would no longer be attached to it because it wasn't attached to a valid thing.
Okay, but so what about it? Because observe. Okay, I just double checking something because it says Observe Stasis says enchantment aura, not enchant creature.
Well, so enchantment is the card type, aura is the enchantment subtype. But if you look under where it says flash, it says enchant creature and opponent controls.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Now there's older cards that say in the type line enchant creature, but those have been eroded so that it is enchantment aura, and then it'll say enchant creature in the ability box. The text.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we did that wrong, but one of the other guys said, like, because of the fact that all Observe Stasis cares about is that at the time of entry, Observe Stasis, at the time it entered, Commander Guff was a creature that was attacking.
Yeah.
But now that I know that.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to help. All right. Go ahead. What's up?
So I had a weird interaction one day. It might be an easy answer for some, but basically I had a Setharoth emblem.
Right? Basically, that's the one that when you have a creature die, everyone loses one, you gain one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, so I know emblems have special priorities or whatnot, or like maybe a different clause, but my opponent had a Hushbringer, and I have like a grave crawler dying, right? Now, does that stop? Does the Hushbringer stop everything, or because?
So let me check the exact text on Hushbringer. Hold on, because it's going to depend on something here. Okay, yeah. So flying lifelink creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So here's the thing: it does stop the emblem. Now, if Hushbringer said creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities of permanence to trigger, then it wouldn't interact with the emblem because the emblem is not a permanent. But it is just a trigger.
ongoing effect, I believe, not a trigger. When I looked it up, that's what
No,
my
no.
question.
It's not like a continuous effect, like all creatures get +1/+1 or something like that. The emblem just kind of exists. It's not in any of the interactable zones of the game. Like it's not on the battlefield. It's not in exile. It technically kind of exists in the command zone, for the purpose of it being a thing, an object in the game. But there's nothing currently that can interact with it short of like something that resets the game. But it does that particular emblem triggers, right? So it looks for the triggering event of your creature dying and puts a trigger on the stack that says, everyone loses a life, you gain a life. So with Hushbringer in play, Hushbringer just says creatures entering or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So that triggered ability cannot go on the stack while Hushbringer is in play. Like I said, if Hushbringer said something about, permanents not triggering, then it wouldn't interact with the emblem because the emblem is not a permanent, right? But it just says abilities can't trigger because of creatures entering or dying. So it does stop that emblem. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it is considered a triggered ability or whatnot. It's just
Yes.
all right. Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yes.
Hey, TS. It's been a while.
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing?
Ain't too bad. So, very unique question.
Okay.
If Freed from the Real is in the graveyard, let's just say that this is my grave and I'm actually and I do meet the delirium requirement. Let's say if Kinnon's on the board as well, make things easier. If I activate Shifting Woodland, targeting Freed from the Real because it is an enchantment, so it is a permanent. Shifting Woodland will see that and become a copy of Freed from the Real.
Right.
But because it's an aura, what happens in that scenario?
It cannot exist on the battlefield not attached to something, and it will immediately just go to the graveyard for state-based actions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't get to attach it to something just because it becomes an aura.
Yeah. I wasn't too sure because I'm like, hang on, does it target on cast or does it target on ETB?
So auras, as part of casting an aura, you have to have a valid target. Now, if an aura is ever just entering the battlefield without being cast, it gets to come in attached to something it's able to attach to without targeting it.
Okay.
But those are the only times that it's going to attach to something is when it is entering as a result of resolving the cast, or it's entering through some other means, or if it was already on the battlefield and something else it says attach target permanent to this other thing, Arden does that, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that was realistically the only question. I just wasn't too sure how that worked because I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, it would just immediately go to the graveyard to state-based actions for not being attached to anything. Yeah.
Easy peasy mac and cheesy. Right.
It's an easy way to get it in your graveyard if you ever need it there. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Catch you later, man.
Take care. I always just double check for courtesy, But yeah, what's up?
Yeah, of course. When, for example, a creature or something gives cost reduction by one generic.
Sure.
And you want to, for example, Astral Cornucopia has an XX cost. That cost reduction of 1, would it apply for the both axes or it doesn't apply?
Let me find that. Oh, Astral Cornucopias. Oh, yeah. XXX. This artifact enters with X counters on it, and then you make mana equal to the number of. Gotcha. Okay. So the way that works. So let's say you have an effect out that says your artifacts cost 2 less.
Yes.
Just to throw it out there, right? So what happens is there is a specific process for casting a spell that a lot of players shortcut, and most of the time it's fine to shortcut it. Most of the time it really just doesn't matter, right? But let me walk you through those steps, and it'll kind of help understand how that applies to things with like XX or XXX, things like that, right? So the first step is to just announce that you're casting the spell, right? You move it from your hand onto the stack and say, hey, I'm casting this spell. So from this point on, until you finish the process, nobody gets priority to take any actions. No triggers go on the stack. You're mostly uninterrupted during this process, well, until it's
All right.
officially cast, right? Second step is to make any relevant choices. So that would be like naming targets, choosing modes for like farewell, right? A number of other, say, oh, I'm gonna overload it. I'm gonna use this alternate cost, or I'm gonna have the additional cost of kicker. I'm gonna use that. These are the choices you're making at this time. The choice for Astral Cornucopia is I'm gonna have X equal 3, just whatever, right? Like
Nine
just
mana total. Yeah.
yeah, but we'll get to that. But I'm just saying, right now, this is where you make that choice of what X is going to equal, right? And then after that, the game just checks to make sure that everything you've made a choice for so far is legal. Valid targets, things like that, right? Then we determine cost, right? And so this is like it takes the base cost plus or if you're using like alternate costs, it takes that into account. If you decided to use any additional cost, it takes that into account. If there's any tax effects, it takes that into account. If there's any reductions, it takes that into account, right? And then if necessary, we apply Tritosphere. So during this determining of cost, you go, oh, okay, so the cost of, I've decided X is going to be 3, so the base cost is going to be 9, right? We check for any additional costs. There weren't any, no tax effects. Oh, reduction -2, so now it's going to cost 7, right? So because X was 3, the reduction kicks in and makes it 7 mana, right? So now we activate mana abilities. So tap lands, sack treasures, do all the things, then you pay the cost. This is where you actually pay the mana you have available. This is where if you had like an additional cost, sacrifice a creature, you would sacrifice a creature here. Things like that. And then the last thing is just it is officially cast. So like anything that would see it as like a cast trigger needs to be here to see it cast, and that's where we're finished, right? So along this process, you make the choice of what X is, and then you determine what the total cost will be based on that choice, and then apply your cost reduction to determine how much you're actually going to need.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, I got you. So just to confirm if I really understood, actually, Astral Cornucopia is the best example because on it's a precon counterintelligence. I think there are some cost reductions to artifacts, and since Astral
Cornucopia is an artifact,
yeah, I was talking. I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm muted or not, and I
gotcha.
checked. Sorry. So all right, no, I think I understood. So I would declare I want 3 charges on each, or 3.
You would say
mana.
I want X equals 3.
X equals 3.
Right.
And then when I would pay, it would be 7 at the end because there would be a discount depending on the card. If like,
yeah. So you decided X equals 3, so that cost, and since there's XXX, that makes it 9 mana. You check for taxes and things like that. And in our situation, we said there was an effect that said artifacts cost 2 less. So we go down, from that 9 we subtract 2, and our final result is we need 7 mana to complete casting this spell.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Would you have a reference to the rule, or just I don't know if someone would blunt her, or I don't know. It's hard. I'm a newbie to the game, and I play with newbies around, so.
Sure.
These things come up, and we're really confused sometimes because the internet, or even AIs, don't give like
right
just an explanation you gave me, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Now there is like it's pretty easy to find if you go search the PDF for the Magic the Gathering comprehensive rules, right? So and now that is like a 300-page document. It is
is.
it's a bear to read the whole thing all the way through, right? But if you want to see this very specific detailed process for casting a spell, you want to look at Rule 601 in the comprehensive rules.
Okay.
So if you were to go on Google and just do a search for, Magic Comprehensive Rules 601, then you would be able to find that directly.
Well, I appreciate it, man, because Magic is really hard, right?
Like,
it's very intricate.
Like the basics are pretty easy, but there are definitely some nuances. Like I said, a lot of players shortcut this process, and most of the time it doesn't matter until something comes up that throws a little monkey wrench in it. Like, okay, wait, I need to figure this out. So knowing that specific process, you don't have to do that process every time, meticulously step by step, because then you have a 5-hour game that could have been 20 minutes, but but it just kind of helps to understand what's happening there. Yeah.
I built this digital deck around one of the new commands that isn't technically supposed to be out till March, but from the new TSMtG set.
Okay.
And people are always telling me different things about its ability.
Okay.
It's the Rat King.
All right, let me.
The Rat King Verminister, I think his name is.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find him. He is not released.
Look in my command zone on spell table. I just typed it in. Rat King Verminister.
Oh.
Now I understand his first part of his ability. It's the second part that people are telling me different things. Like if I sacrifice 3 of, say, my rat colonies to bring out more rat colonies from my graveyard, and the ones that I used to sacrifice, I bring them back out as well. Some people tell me yes, you can do that. Others saying it's a gray area, you can't do that.
Gotcha. So, go ahead.
Wait, which way is correct?
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. And I shouldn't have erased all of this because this is very relevant to what I need to tell you. But
Oops.
It's okay. So, there is an order of process of casting a spell, which also applies to activating an ability. The important thing is that you are going to make all of your relevant choices before you pay costs, right? So what that means is with the Rat King, you are going to target a creature card in your graveyard, right? So which means it can't be one of the ones you intend to sacrifice. You have to already have had something in your graveyard that you plan to target. So you already have a Ravenous Rats, I think is what you said you're using, right? Rat colony. Sorry, got the So you already have a rat colony in your graveyard that you want to target. So then what you do is you put this ability on the stack. You target the rat colony. You sacrifice any 3 rats, and then once you've completed the process of choosing your targets, paying your costs, making all your choices, then the ability is on the stack and priority has to go around and players can make relevant responses before it actually resolves, right? Well, by the time it resolves, if you sacrificed 3 of your rat colonies to activate it, those rat colonies are in the graveyard and able to be returned with this ability if you targeted another rat colony.
That's what I was wondering.
So you can't target a rat colony that you intend to sacrifice, but the ones you sacrifice will be in the graveyard by the time this ability resolves.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But people are like, well, it seems like a gray area. You can't bring them back. I'm like, well, yes, I can. Another player told me I could.
Yeah.
Because I'm targeting the same card in my graveyard. So by the time this ability resolves, it brings them right back out again.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happens, right?
So I don't really have to remove the ones I'm sacrificing from the field because they're just coming right back out again. So.
Well, I mean, they still die and they return in case there's any triggers that care, or somebody like in response, wants to shuffle your graveyard into your library. then the 3 grats that you sacrificed are getting shuffled alongside, So still, put them in the graveyard and return them to go through the steps properly. But yeah.
On my end step, can I pay for this ability on Go-Shintai of Shared Purpose? Then blink it with Teleportation Circle?
Let me check. You said that was Go-Shintai of Shared Purpose?
Yeah. And Teleportation
let's see.
Circle.
At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. And then Teleportation Circle is on the end step. You can basically flicker a... Is it creature artifact or just creature?
Creature or artifact.
Okay. Yes, that was creature artifact. Yeah, so what happens is, at the beginning of your end step, you have these 2 triggers that are going on the stack at the same time, because they both have the triggering event at the beginning of your end step, right? You, as the controller of those triggers, get to decide the order in which they go on the stack. Now, really, it doesn't matter which order they resolve. What's going to happen is, even if that Go-Shintai, if it got to trigger, and so even if somebody removed it, much less you flickered it or did anything like that, but if somebody like fully removed it in response to the trigger, you still get the trigger, right? Like flickering it is not going to stop the trigger. Removing it is not going to stop the trigger. It's just, there may be another thing, like if you're running that in a like a 5-color shrine Go-Shintai deck, then you can resolve it so that you flicker it first, have it re-enter, and then Go-Shintai makes another shrine token, and that ups the number of shrines you have, so that when you resolve that end step trigger for the shared purpose, you get more things, But yeah, you can absolutely do both of them for sure.
So like I can pay, or what I'm asking is, can I pay for it and then flicker it and then pay for it again? Because it's like
no. That doesn't work, because what happens is, when it re-enters the battlefield, it's a new object, but it looks for the triggering event of your end step has begun. Well, you've already passed the point that your end step began, so anything that enters at that point is no longer going to see that event.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was it.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much.
No problem. Glad to help.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.